Right, hi you guys, Greg here from Canafox NFTs. So we finally managed to get Simon out of his busy schedule to do this AMA with us. So I know you guys had quite a few questions that you posted on the AMA channel. So I mean, we'll jump into those quickly. I think just get a few questions out the way. So is there a limit on whitelist purchases? If not, how many NFTs can be minted per transaction? As soon as we got all that sorted out, then I'll let you guys know. But for now, there's no limit on whitelist purchases. And NFTs, you'll be able to mint as many NFTs as what you like per transaction. Will Batch 2 be released in pools and stages? That's an excellent question. No, it'll just be one pool. So Batch 2, we will just launch that as one singular pool. Have we got a hard date for the next mint? Okay. We have a tentative date for the next mint. So at the moment, we just want to get batch 1 out the way. We want to get some rewards flowing out to the NFT holders, and then we will have a look for batch 2. But tentatively, we're still looking at April for batch 2. What's the minimum amount needed for an OTC deal? So OTC deals, the minimum amount is 94 NFTs. We've had a few people ask us this before. If people want to pull together and do an OTC deal, that's absolutely fine. But for us with the NFT company, it would have to go through 94 NFTs that are purchased in one shot. Do I think that the NFT price will remain at 700? For the moment, yes, that's what we're projecting. It's going to depend on quite a few things that we're going to have a look at closer to the time in April. But as we now stand, it's about $700 an NFT. And that was pretty much that for the pools. Now, I think the important person to be talking to right now is Mr. Simon.
Yeah, hi guys. Hi, nice to see you all again. I know you're saying you've all been busy in the Discord and everywhere else. So it's good for us to catch up again. So okay. So I mean, I've got the questions here. So let me go through them. First one is, where do you envision Canafox and Fox Farms being in the next 1, 3, 5 years in terms of goals, product demand, number of containers, dispensaries, etc.? Well, I mean, this is something obviously we've discussed with the NFT company, and they know some of our plans. But I mean, everything's going smoothly at the moment. The site one's coming along really well. We've already got our site 2 lined up. Again, we're not planning to launch that until sort of April time onwards, until we get site 1 all up and running. Definitely the market is changing so quickly. I mean, the cannabis market in Thailand is evolving crazily, and in a good way. Obviously there's more and more farms coming up, more and more dispensaries, more and more demand. So the demand is actually growing, and certainly for the top shelf exotics, that demand is going up, and that's an important thing that we've sort of looked at our business plan. With the distribution and the outlets selling it is crucial. I mean, when it's a buyer's market and there's more and more farms come up and trying to sell to the same places, obviously prices fluctuate. So, our plan is certainly over the next 18 months, we've got, we're launching our chain of dispensaries. So, we want to have them rolled out across Thailand. That's obviously for the main sort of recreational cannabis. We're also doing our research and development for industrial hemp, which we may have mentioned in the past, and also the other products such as extracts and all the other products associated with cannabis. So we know we've got to grow and evolve as well. So that's all in progress, and we see an exciting few years ahead for sure. And obviously that's long-term industrial hemp and building products. That's real long-term, sort of 4, 5, 10 years. And the recreational extracts, that's the next few years with dispensaries. So that's what we are there. Is there an update on the roadmap to track each batch pool schedule mentioned previously? Yeah, I mean, the members area on the website is, up and running, and it slowly more features are being added to it. Obviously, the NFT company has access to some of that, and they'll update some of the the stats and photos and things. But we're now starting to add the the stats of each container, and some more information on there. So again, that's all getting on track. What is the current level of demand per month? Well, I mean, with our current buyers, I mean, we've got lots of wholesale buyers, plus we're doing some joint ventures with some of the hospitality outlets and some of the dance events and things like that. So at the moment, it's around 300 kg a month, but we're nowhere near being able to fulfill that. I mean, our facility, we can't produce 100 or 120 a month. So it's good for us to have more demand than we can actually produce, and hence that's why, as long as the current demand keeps growing, and obviously we're working with our distribution guys, and we've got some sales and marketing that are constantly looking for more outlets. So as long as we can keep the demand growing, then obviously that feeds batch 2 as well. So it's all sort of working hand in hand.
Yeah, awesome. Simon, actually, I see that question 4 should have been under me, so I apologize for that.
All right,
I'll quickly jump into that one.
Yep.
So basically the question was the lifetime of the NFT. So our contract with Fox Farms, the NFT company, of course, is Green Panther, so we are a customer of Fox Farms, and we have a 2-year contract set up with Simon to grow and cultivate the cannabis for us. After those 2 years, then again, like I've said quite a few times, there will be the possibility to renew that contract. So will there be a cost at the end of those 2 years to renew the contract? Yes, but I mean, we're not looking at an insane cost, so basically all that would happen is, let's say now we're renewing the contract for another year, and the cost is X, then we'll just divide that out over the 100 NFTs. So the cost of that would be absolutely minimal. But yeah, so basically that's just it. I mean, the NFTs, Simon's got all of his costs. I'll maybe let him explain to you a little bit more why we'd have renewal fees.
Yeah.
But yeah, but again, like I say, guys, it's really minimal. It's not something we're looking at to all of a sudden have a zero income coming into the NFTs. Divided over 100 people, it's not that much. Simon, do you want to maybe break down what the renewal costs would entail?
Yeah, I mean, just to elaborate on that as well. I mean, as you say, I mean, the reason the initial contract was fixed for 2 years is because, the market changes dramatically over that period of time, and no one really knows where the prices are going to be, what the sort of production and everything else is going to be. So 2 years seemed like a sensible sort of initial duration. But, as we've all discussed in the past, from our point of view with our investors, those that were with us at the start, obviously, we want to keep them long term. And I mean, we've got other investors outside of the NFTs, and they're the same as obviously the Green Panther and their interest. Most of the investors are looking for a long term project. They just don't want to make a quick 2 years and then that's it. So we understand that as well. So even on site 2, we're allocating a certain amount to investors, and the rest is obviously going to be kept by us. But we want to obviously keep the NFTs going as long as we can, and as long as the market sustains that will be great. And as you say, I mean, there would be we're planning on having a renewal fee, at the end of the 2 years, and at the moment we're sort of looking around. Well, I don't know, the sort of 500,000 baht mark ish. But again, how we work out that with the NFTs, we'll obviously work out a deal that works for everybody. Because, as you say, we want to keep this long term.
And can you maybe elaborate on the container dispensaries going forward? What plans have you got? I think you touched briefly on that.
Yeah. So I mean, with that, I mean, what we, as I say, we feel it's very, it's important to have dispensaries linked to the containers. So I mean, what's happening now is dispensaries all over Thailand are obviously, as new farms are popping up, all of the farms are trying to sell to the same outlets. So, all these dispensaries down Ceylon and Sukhumvit, they're just sitting back, and all the farms are coming up and like, oh, do you want to buy my weed? It's 200,000. My weed is 160. Mine is 100. So it's it is a buyer's market, and it's like any other industry. I think we touched on this before that, the big corporations, Tesco's and all these people, they have the power over the farmers when it comes to the produce. They say, well, if you want your tomatoes in all our stores, you'll sell him at this price. And that's going to happen with cannabis. So what we see is that it's crucial to have the dispensaries, and then, as I say, they're tied to a container. So each container would supply a dispensary. And I mean, even if it was based on 5 kilos a month, that protects the investment, that protects the wholesale price, because we would have a fixed price from the container to the dispensary. So I mean, over the next 2 years, we're looking at trying to do 30 dispensaries across Thailand, and they'll be, from up in Chiang Mai down in Phuket and Suratani, so all over. So I mean, that's our plan. So in the next 2 years, that'll certainly, start rolling out. And the first one, or the first 3, we plan to get up and running sort of May, June time. So that's the plans for those. When is the first harvest due? When can NFTs expect to receive their awards? And what is the current estimate of kgs expected per container? So I mean, we're still planning the first batch. Where the containers, or the plants are in flowering mode. So by March, April, we'll have our first harvest. I mean, we're just now. We hope that we're going to get sort of 8 to 10 kilos per container. Obviously, once we start seeing the buds develop properly, and we'll get a better idea of the exact amount. But as soon as we know, we'll update that, and obviously people can see the amount, and we'll start sharing more and more photos of that. That's it. How will this harvest be different from future harvests? Well, definitely. I mean, these first harvests are definitely going to be, obviously, the hardest. The farm is brand new. We've got lots of issues we have to sort out. We've learned a lot over the last 3 or 4 months. We've had problems with the power. We've had problems with getting rooms online, and different equipment that we've been using. So, I mean, it's, as with anything, you get better and better over time. So the first harvest is definitely going to be more awkward, because we're finding our feet, we're finding out all the procedures and any issues. But once we get this first harvest out the way, and obviously over the next 3 or 4 months, as each harvest rotation starts, then obviously we'll get better and better. So by the end of the first year, once the farm is all fully up and operational, all the containers, all of the 32, obviously all on their rotational harvest, then I think year 2 will definitely be a lot slicker, and by then as well we'll know which plants we're getting better yields out of, which strains to choose from in the future. So year 2 will obviously be a lot better than year 1.
Okay, awesome. Sorry, just come back to that quickly then, Simon. So when do you expect is the latest day? The latest day that we'll actually be able to give the NFT holders their rewards?
Oh, I mean, by the time we harvest, say March, end of March, then we've got obviously the harvest drying. So I think by, from us as a company, what we're planning is, by sort of Songkran, which is like April the 13th, that's when we'll be looking at least starting to pay out, the first lot of investors.
Okay, so by April, then we should be able to distribute the first set of rewards, exactly. Which doesn't really put us on that much of a delay, because the harvest is always going to be March with the rewards in April. Yep. So you've just made our life a little bit more difficult to get payments out quicker, but okay, that's fine. Yep. I don't have much hair to lose anyway. So the rewards will then still be out, let's say, by 18th of April. So, I mean, if we have to give ourselves a deadline with bank transfers and all that kind of stuff, I mean, I'd probably say then, at the very least, by the end of April, rewards will be paid out. I mean, is that safe to assume?
Yeah. Sure. Obviously, I think next week we've got some of the guys coming to visit the farm, some of the NFT guys, Super Silver and a couple of others, I believe, right? They're coming Monday. Things are changing every week. Every time you come, I mean, it's great. Today we've had all the electricity company there installing all the main new power generation, power transformer. Things are now really moving quick. We're in that final stage. So I think by the end of March, pretty much we're at 95% complete, and it's just the little tidying up then, the painting of different areas and everything else. So yeah, it's exciting times. It's now getting to the hard work.
Yeah, I mean, I always make a joke of it, but every time I come to that factory, I never recognize it. I always drive past it.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally always drive past them, and I've got to do that huge U-turn.
Yeah.
So,
well, it was great. I mean, last week we had the cranes there. This week we had the cranes there, and we were juggling, swapping around rooms because we've been building in like temporary areas, and I mean, it was just amazing to see them swinging around units and stacking them on 3 stories high and moving units around. So yeah, it's now it's all like I said, getting to the last phase. So things are really shaping up now, which is good.
Okay, yeah, well, that's awesome. Thanks for taking the time, Sam. I know you're really busy.
I know what I was going to mention as well. I think we talked about it. Once we do have our harvest in and everything else, then we are planning an open day as well, where we've got some of our buyers coming. Obviously, if people are in Thailand, they'll be invited to the lounge. We'll have a lot of product there that people can sample. We've got lots of other products as well that are under the Canafox sort of banner in terms of equipment and or same like you get in all the other dispensaries. But certainly our wholesale customers, obviously having an open day to bring them in, show them the product, and do a few samples.
That sounds awesome, man.
Cool.
So I mean, after this, guys, I mean, the AMA, go ahead and ask any questions you guys want. I mean, we've always got our super mods in there, that can help you guys out. I mean, we always pop in there. I know Simon's not been in there as much as what he used to be, but I mean, Simon is horribly busy. So yeah, I mean, if you guys also have any other questions for Simon, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'll always get him on a quick call, get the answer for you, and give you guys the answer straight back.
Cool.
So yeah, okay, we'll keep on growing, Simon.
Yeah, definitely, and look forward to seeing some of the guys next week.
Awesome, mate.
All right, take care.
Cheers, Simon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers.